I've had a lot of inexplicable experiences in my life, some of which I still can't wrap my head around. My first thought isn't necessarily that it's the paranormal, as I'm not sure if I believe in that kind of thing. I have an open mind, but I don't buy into things that easily. Most things that happen, I blame on my mind playing tricks on me, sleep deprivation, or simply the fact that it could be a mental illness that has gone undiagnosed. There is one moment, though, or I suppose a few moments, that have been on my mind for some time now. One happened while I was in the shower. As water poured over my head, I heard my brother yell my name. The second instance was louder than the first, as if something was wrong. I could have sworn I heard my dog barking as well. Annoyed but concerned, I got out, cracked the door open, and called back to them. But after waiting a few seconds, there was no response. I quickly dried myself off, put on my robe, and headed downstairs, asking what they needed. Again, I got no response. My dog was on her bed, fast asleep, and my brother was nowhere to be found. I looked out the window, and their car wasn't even there. This wasn't the first time my mind has decided to play these annoying games, so I didn't really think much of it. Honestly, I've had auditory hallucinations before, none to that degree, but maybe they're getting worse and I need to sleep more. That was my way of trying to reason with myself, and it worked. The next time I heard my brother yell my name and he wasn't there, it was fine. But then it happened a third time and then a fourth, my brother calling for me loudly and distinctly. That's when I started to get worried. I thought I was genuinely going crazy. I decided to bring it up to my brother while playing Borderlands one night. We talked about our mental health a lot because our parents don't believe in therapy, so we kind of became each other's safe haven. I explained everything that had happened over the past month, and instead of giving advice or sympathizing like he usually does, he just got really quiet for a second. Then he said he'd been experiencing the same thing, except it was our mom yelling his name. But she had never been home when he went to check. He said it had happened around 5 or 6 times, maybe a month or 2 ago, but he also thought his mind was playing tricks. It seemed that after that talk, things began to stop. I didn't hear anything for almost 3 weeks, but then something happened that I'll never forget and will probably never have an explanation for. I was sitting in my bed scrolling through Instagram when my mom started aggressively calling my name from downstairs. I'd never heard her voice before. It was always my brother's, so I didn't even think anything weird of it. I was about to get up and see what she wanted when suddenly my mom burst through the door, asking me what I wanted. I didn't know what to say, but I could tell she was annoyed by the look she gave me. She asked me again what I wanted, and I just kind of shook my head, trying to understand what was going on. Then she angrily sighed and said not to yell her name while she's making dinner and walked out, leaving the door open. Still in shock, I got up to close the door, but as I walked across the room, my heart stopped when I came to the realization. I immediately sprinted over to the window and looked at the driveway. My mom was at work. I slammed my door shut and sat on my bed, crying as I called my brother. I was absolutely terrified and wanted to get out of the house, but couldn't even bring myself to go downstairs alone. My brother didn't pick up as he was at work, so I was left stuck there. I ended up locking myself in my small bathroom while I waited for either my brother or my mom to get home from work, though I knew it would be hours. Thankfully, nothing else happened until my mom got back, and this time I was very hesitant when she called for me, but it ended up being okay. I told my brother that night, and he said he'd never had anything like that happen to him. To this day, I still have no answers as to what I was hearing and seeing. Honestly, I'm writing this and sharing it in hopes of being able to forget about it and move on. I don't want to know anymore because I don't think I can handle the truth if it really was the paranormal.